Well, it's a very warm welcome back to second half independent off-tube studio commentary from the game at the Swansea.com stadium, where the home side lead against Blackburn Rovers by 1-0. Blackburn started better in the first 10-12 minutes in this game. Swansea then took the lead on 16. That goal just seemed to put Blackburn back into their shell a little bit. It took a little time for Tony Mowbray's side to get back into their flow, and they had a couple of good chances towards the end of the first half, but Swansea themselves with a couple of half chances to break out. I think from Russell Martin's point of view, what he'll be looking for is for his side to assert just that little bit more dominance as the home team. Easier said than done, of course, with Swansea's current form and league position. Say there are 19 points and 16 places between the two sides at kick-off, but you wouldn't have thought so. For long spells in the first half, Blackburn certainly felt as though they were probably in control of the game more, but after that goal they just seemed to lose their way a little bit, and there was actually a possession stat in the first few minutes after Blackburn had conceded that Swansea had 89% of possession. So that's something that certainly Swansea will be looking to try and build on and really put more pressure on this Blackburn side, who certainly don't coming here to the Swansea.com stadium. They know they would have been in for a tough game, but certainly the positive start that Tony Mowbray's side had made, hoped that they would have hoped they could have perhaps at least gone in level at half-time. But we're underway in the second half, about a minute on the clock. Blackburn have won themselves a free kick around about the halfway line. It's floated all the way towards the penalty area, headed down at the edge of the box, and then a strike from Lenihan. It's a curling effort stopped at the edge of the 6-yard box, back towards the halfway line, headed forward by Ryan Niambi. Blackburn straight away trying to get forward. Lenihan, who stayed up, rolls it now towards Giles. Giles' ball aimed at the near post. Not too far away at all there from Ryan Hodges. But goalkeeper Andy Fisher for Swansea very happy to claim that one. So it is Andy Fisher in goal for Swansea. A back three of Ben Cabango, Flynn Downs and Ryan Manning. The four across the middle are Cyrus Christie, Olivier Ntcham, Matt Grimes and Hannes Wolff, with Jamie Patterson, Joel Pirot and Michael Obafemi as the three up front. For Blackburn, it is Thomas Kaminski in goal with a back three of Darragh Lenihan, Jean-Paul Van Heck and Scott Wharton. The four across the middle, Ryan Niambi, Lewis Travis, Joe Rothwell and Deo Sifiuk, with John Buckley, Ryan Giles and Ryan Hedges as the three up front for Blackburn. It's a free kick in favour of Rovers there. Pirot in an offside position. Blackburn not hanging around, straight away trying to restart play here. So they're desperate to get level and then get in front in this game as well. Easier said than done as well, of course, though. Swansea, who haven't been particularly free scoring in their last few games, they'll be desperate to hold on to this lead as Rovers' attack there is cut short even before I had a chance to get into what was happening in that attack. The offside flag is up, and it will be a free kick to Swansea City. Yeah, Giles just edging forward a little bit too quickly there. And can't say, but it's still goalless between Burnley and Watford. 36 minutes on the clock in that game. Commentary available on our service. And in the Bedfordshire derby between Cambridge United and Luton. Luton now lead by 2-0. Both goals, in fact, scored in the first half. Burke and Mendes Gomez giving Luton that 2-goal lead. 48 minutes on the clock here at the Swansea.com stadium. And that's a very poor ball out from Andy Fisher, putting his defence under pressure straight away. Blackburn win it back. And here is Ryan Giles now, left-hand edge of the penalty. The cross is over here. And so, well, it's two mistakes there. First of all, the goalkeeper Fisher giving it away far too easily, but then Giles, that's a let-off for Swansea. He should put a better cross into the box, considering there were four Blackburn players in and around the edge of the penalty area. We'll see again, Fisher rolls this ball out. It's a hospital pass, to borrow a term from rugby. And then the ball played quickly over towards Ryan Giles. And, I mean, it was asking for a slightly softer cross there, really, to try and pick out Hedges. But Swansea once again lose the ball inside their own half. Here come Rovers again with Joe Rothwell. Feeds that ball into the edge of the area. Spinning and turning is Buckley. He's got three Swansea players around him. Buckley trying to keep that ball alive. But in the end, it's played away. And now a chance for Swansea to go on the counter. It's a good run as well, this from Wolff, who was being held onto there. The referee shows that he's playing the advantage. Wolff switching the play from left to right, picking out Olivier Ntcham. Ntcham just holds it up. He's got Christie on the overlap, but Ntcham puts the cross in himself. It's taken down. Obafemi tees it up for Cabango. Cabango wasn't in any position to shoot himself, so he feeds it back to Obafemi, and there's a chance for Pirot as he breaks into the box. I think there was probably an offside flag as Pirot hit the deck there. But that's always the danger if you're a side who are trying to see... Well, there's no offside there, by the way. Is there an offside? There's no offside there either. I think it was just a good challenge in the end from Lenihan. The ball deflected off him and back to his keeper, Kaminski. But looking at that replay, nobody was offside there from Swansea in that last move. As the ball now played towards the edge of the Swansea penalty area, quickly swept away by Cyrus Christie. Out for a throw to Blackburn down the right-hand side. Ryan Nyambi is up to take it. Takes it short to Hedges. Back to Nyambi. And out for a throw to Blackburn once again. Rovers trying to start on when they left off towards the end of the first half. Towards the end of the first half, Blackburn were starting to assert their dominance again. There's still not too much work for Andy Fisher in the Swansea goal. Well, eventually the ball goes out of play for a throw to Swansea, but Lewis Travis isn't letting this one go. He's doing that sort of that gesturing, which I always think is inviting trouble, but by saying that it should, he's sort of pointing to his eyes, saying to Ladsman, "Come on, use your eyes." You could see that was our throw. In fairness to Travis, he has got a point. His attempted challenge there deflected off the feet of Ryan Manning, so it should have actually been a throw to Blackburn, but no harm done. 2 passes later, Rovers get a throw anyway. Swansea making a bit of a mess once again of playing out from the back, but this time Rovers lose it, and Matt Grimes can bring it about here for Swansea, but his pass on the halfway line stopped there by Scott Wharton, and he rolls it forward. Rothwell does well to keep the ball alive here for Blackburn. He breaks into the box, puts it onto his right foot, gets a shot away, and it's deflected out for a corner. The run from Rothwell was really good. I just wonder maybe if Rothwell could have looked to try and pass it a little bit sooner there. There was an opportunity to roll it in for Giles, an opportunity to try and pick out Hedges as well. In the end, he tried to go it alone and was stopped, and has won his side a corner kick, which Rothwell will be taking himself now. One of 2 Blackburn players booked in the first half, him alongside John Buckley. Nacham and Manning picking up bookings for Swansea in the first half. Here's the ball in from Rothwell now. It's a good one. It's angling towards the goalkeeper, and it's punched away by Andy Fisher, but actually there was a foul in the build-up to that, says the referee. And so it will be a free kick to Swansea City. Frustrating as that might be for Blackburn, they were just crowding the goalkeeper a little bit too much there, and Fisher now waiting to take this goal kick. 53 minutes on the clock. Swansea still lead by a goal to nil, and if they were to hold on to this lead, they would jump from 18th to 16th. Blackburn would stay in second place, but third place Bournemouth are only a point behind them, and they would have 2 games in hand. QPR 2 points behind Blackburn. They would have 2 games in hand as well. The referee now having to do a little bit of housekeeping here, as Lenihan was clattered into there by Manning, and Manning is going to get his second yellow card here. The referee has shown him a second yellow, which is absolutely infuriated the Swansea fans on that touchline. Bit of pushing and shoving now as well, with a couple of Blackburn players unhappy with Manning. He's furious at this. His second yellow now means that he has to leave the field, and this has completely changed how this game is going to be played now, because with over half an hour still to play at the Swansea.com stadium, the home side are now down to 10 men. Well, I mean, Manning is trying to win the ball. Lenihan's got his head down. I mean, I have to say, Lenihan is... I'm disappointed with Darragh Lenihan there, I must admit, because unless he's holding his head because he's in so much pain that he's been kicked in the chest, that's the only reason I can suggest, because he's definitely not been hit in the head at all. He's been hit with the left leg of Manning as Manning has tried to win the ball. There's no way that Lenihan got hit in the head there, and I'm a little bit disappointed that he made out as though that was a head injury. He's now sharing a bit of a joke about that with Ben Kabanga, but I tell you what, once these Swansea players get into the dressing room and see a replay, they won't be sharing any jokes with Darragh Lenihan, that's for sure. There's going to have to be a change here for Swansea. No surprise to see the experienced Ryan Bennett, defender, getting ready to come on, and it looks like it's going to be Olivier Nacham that's going to have to be sacrificed. Makes sense, really. Nacham is the only other Swansea player to have been booked in this game, so he's going to go off to be replaced by Ryan Bennett, but Bennett will go straight into that centre-back role that's just been vacated in the back three by the red card for Ryan Manning. I just wonder, of course, no no VAR in the Championship, which quite a few fans of the Championship are very pleased about. But I just wonder if there would have been a scope to maybe amend that second yellow for Manning. Is it dangerous play regardless of where he catches Darragh Lenihan? Possibly so. But it's actually going to be a double change here. So Ntcham is off, and so is Michael Obafemi. No, change of plan here from the manager. Olivier Ntcham stays on. And that's not me making a mistake then. Ntcham, genuine, his number was shown, and he was actually clapping the fans, Olivier Ntcham. But he has now stayed on the field. And it looks like it is going to be Obafemi that gets to that. In terms of the tactical reasoning for that makes more sense. I thought perhaps they were taking off Ntcham, worrying about his yellow card. But certainly from a defensive point of view, it makes sense to keep your central midfielder on the field and replace the sent-off defender to bring on a defender to replace a striker, particularly if you're leading by a goal. I think I've made sense there eventually. In the meantime, here come Blackburn now down the left-hand side with Ryan Giles back in towards Scott Wharton. Now it's with Lenihan over towards the right-hand side. Early cross coming in, searching for Hedges, but that one's headed away. Nyambe leaves this for Lenihan, puts a cross in, headed away by Christie. Now it's Rovers in possession down the left here with Rothwell to Giles, back to Joe Rothwell. Swansea trying to play a little bit higher now just to make it a bit more difficult for Blackburn, but still finding the space. Zifuik into Giles. Short ball in now towards John Buckley at the edge of the area, back to Rothwell. Rothwell being closed down here by Ntcham. Still keeps the ball alive though, out towards the left-hand side here. Giles puts a cross in. There's a bit of a tumble inside the box there. Looks like it may have been Zifuik that hit the deck, but there was no suggestion from him or any of the Blackburn players that there was a foul. Looks like he just lost his footing there as he was trying to get on the end of that cross. Rovers still keep possession despite that cross eluding everyone inside the penalty area. And it's back now with Rovers on the halfway line. Scott Wharton towards the left-hand side now for Lewis Travis. A cross put into the edge of the area, hooked up in the air by Ryan Bennett. Back towards the halfway line. They're fighting for it here, but Rovers come out with it. A couple of headers there from Van Heck and Wharton. Get the ball back for Rovers. Long ball now down the right-hand side. Lenihan's chasing this, but he won't be able to. Well, he stops it from going out for a goal kick at least, but it's not going to be much more than that. Swansea getting ready to make a change now, and there is going to be. Ntcham is off. He's only survived a couple of minutes there, so looks like Russell Martin was always planning to take off Ntcham with his yellow card. So for the second time in a few minutes, Ntcham will now be clapping the supporters, thanking them for their efforts this evening. Olivier Ntcham is off, and Corey Smith is on to replace him. So Smith now will get just over half an hour in this game. Try and maintain, if not increase, this lead for Swansea. Quick, tricky player is Corey Smith. Certainly one for the Blackburn defenders to have to think about. As a throw on now to Swansea down the left-hand side, but it's level with the edge of their own penalty area, so no surprise Blackburn have sent plenty of players up to try and press on this. It's taken quickly and then hooked up in the air by Downs up towards the halfway line. Van Eck is there for Rovers. And Wharton now playing it back towards Kaminski, who's wandered a long way out from his own penalty area. Back to Van Heck now on the halfway line. Gets away from Pirot. Gets away from Patterson. Now we're back with Lenihan. Joe Rothwell in the centre circle. Tries a quarterback-style ball to pick out Darragh Lenihan, but that's at least 10 yards too long from Rovers' talisman midfielder. And that one is out for a Swansea goal kick. Can tell you it is half time at Turf Moor, and it is goalless between Burnley and Watford. Meanwhile, Blackburn bringing on some reinforcements in the form of Ben Brereton Diaz. Ready to come on now is Diaz, one of two changes for Blackburn. They're also going to be bringing on Reda Kadra, but for the time being looks like it's Zifuikov, and he's going to be replaced by Reda Kadra. So Dayo Zifuikov and Reda Kadra on in his place. And the other change, I think it looks like it may be, is this going to be Hedges? Yeah, Ryan Hedges is off to be replaced by Ben Brereton Diaz. So Good chance here now for Brereton Diaz. I'm sure quite a few Blackburn fans would have been asking if he's fit enough to be on the bench. Should he not be starting in this game? It's such a long season in the Championship, and you always want your top players to be in every game, but sometimes it is just a case of managing the fitness levels, managing the fatigue. Meanwhile, it's Swansea going forward here with Patterson. Tries to play a quick 1-2 down that left-hand side. But the ball back to him from Hannes Wolf, just a little bit under hit, making it easier for Ryan Niambi to clear the ball out for a throw. Just to tell you as well, in that game between Burnley and Watford, just looking at the stats, there have been 2 shots on goal, 1 each from Burnley and Watford. So it's one of these very tight nip and tuck sort of games at the bottom of the Premier League. As I say, massive game for both those teams really, particularly with Watford now playing under a new manager, although that's not something that they have to, that is something that the players should have been used to by now. Of course, Watford really changing their managers very freely as Niambi plays the ball back to his keeper, which is at least 3 yards too short. And Niambi puts his hand up to apologise to Kaminski. No harm done in the end because Kaminski got there first and put it out for a throw. But really, that's Niambi just putting far too much pressure on his keeper there, and Joel Pirot not too far away at all from picking that pass off. Out for a throw to Swansea down the left-hand side, and referee Tim Robinson just a quick reminder to Swansea not to take too long over these throws. Made the points in commentary a few times. I'd love to see, maybe not obviously across the season, across all leagues, but just for a trial, just have a couple of games played in either a cup competition or even perhaps a youth or reserve game where the clock actually stops, rather than actually just letting the clock go on. You have a throw on, a penalty, a free kick, and every time teams are able to just eke another few seconds out, actually have a stop clock and see how players would respond then, because it does annoy me that top professional footballers spend so much time on the pitch actually trying to avoid playing football. It's not really something that we go on about too much because it's just accepted that every team will do it at some stage. But it does make for sometimes very negative games. But anyway, getting back to the action here, 62 minutes gone. Independent off-tube studio commentary. Swansea City leading against Blackburn by a 1-0. But it's Rovers that have won themselves a corner down the right-hand side. And it's going to be an outswing. And there's a whole cluster of Blackburn players jostling for position on the penalty spot. Brereton Diaz is just over towards the left-hand side. It's swung in towards the edge of the 6-yard box. It drops. The strike comes in. It gets a deflection, does it? Well, Travis is away, but he's only doing that to fetch the ball for the goalkeeper. There was no deflection in the end. The ball dropped to Lewis Travis at the edge of the box. Put his right foot through it, but in the end, just lacking a little bit of direction there to get that one on target. As you can see there from that replay, never really made the right connection with that one there. Lewis Travis. Russell Martin looking on a little bit nervously. Swansea City have lost the most possession in their own third this season, 154 times this season. Next it's Reading with 152, and then Nottingham Forest with 136 and Huddersfield with 132. So Swansea very high on that list. That's not something that will please Russell Martin in the slightest. I think that, of course, as I mentioned, it is a byproduct. All teams will now lose more possession in their final third, I think, than they would have done 15, 20 years ago, because, of course, every team now is playing out from the back, or at least doing so more often than what they would have done in the past, which makes for more control when you're playing out from the back, but also there's always that risk that you could lose the ball quite easily. As Blackburn now fighting at the edge of the Swansea penalty area to try and win this ball back. It's not easy though. Swansea just about get it away here with Patterson. Patterson holds it up. It gets brought down, and that will be a free kick. Foul there from Brereton Diaz. Travis looking very frustrated with that decision as well. We'll see from this replay as the ball is played. It's actually Travis that runs into Patterson. Well, I say runs into is maybe a little bit overstating it slightly. He makes just a little bit of contact with him, really. But enough to convince the referee that should be a free kick. It's going to be Andy Fisher to take it. Long clearance from him now. Over the top. Headed forward up in the air by Scott Wharton, the Rovers captain. And Heck now under a bit of pressure. That ball back towards his keeper. they're going back towards Rothwell. As, the visitors in, I'd say complete control might just be a phrase too far, but really Rovers have been very confident in this second half, 60% to 40%. They are playing, of course, against 10 men right now, and that is starting to show a little bit. Swansea just looking a little bit more under pressure in defence as a good cross comes in from the left-hand side, and that forces a quick clearance there from substitute Ryan Bennett. He puts it out for a corner kick to Blackburn down the left-hand side. Chance to get players into the penalty area here, and the referee Tim Robinson just looks on because there's plenty of pushing and shoving inside that box. There's going to be a left-footed cross from the left-hand side. It's going to be an outswinger here from Ryan Giles, aimed at the near post. It was aimed at Brereton Diaz, headed up in the air. Second ball is cleared out by Joel Pirot, and it's out for a throw to Blackburn down the left. Didn't quite go out for a corner. Giles takes it quickly back to Joe Rothwell. Inside now to Travis. Towards the halfway line here. Lenihan being closed down by Patterson, but he gets it to Nyambe. Nyambe then plays the ball down the right channel. It's a lot to ask for the Rovers man to get on the end of that one, Reda Kadra. And in the end, it's just a little bit too long for him. He's still trying to say that perhaps it should be a corner. I don't think there was ever any suggestion that might have deflected out. But Tony Mowbray looking a little bit frustrated here. His side have had 80% possession in the last 10 minutes. We saw a similar spell in the first half for Swansea, and that was just after they'd scored. They just seemed to take advantage of the fact that Blackburn were a little bit shell-shocked. But right now, Rovers are seeing 80% of the ball in the last 10 minutes. Still haven't really been able to test Andy Fisher. Plenty of work for his defenders, but Swansea keeper hasn't really had a save to make in this second half, barring to claim a couple of crosses. Ryan Bennett now with a long clearance for Swansea, headed forward by Rothwell. It's now down the left-hand side. Chance here now for Kadra. Runs straight into trouble. Oh, loose ball kept alive here by Rothwell. Now it's with Travis on the left. Back to Rothwell. Here is Giles now. Rothwell square now towards Van Heck. Heck under pressure. Turns, puts it onto his left foot and shoots himself. Well, I suppose he'll argue that his attacking teammates have had plenty of possession in this second half and not really done too much with it, so he felt he would try his luck. But a rather frustrated Blackburn fan behind that Swansea goal throws that ball back on the pitch. You can just see that Rovers fans, it's a long old trip. East Lancashire to South Wales for an evening kickoff. Those fans are going to get home very, very late in the evening unless they're planning a bit of an overnight stay in South Wales. Meanwhile, it's a change for Blackburn with Ryan Nyambe off and Joe Rankin Costello to come on in his place. So Nyambe, who's certainly been full of running in this game. And the obligatory little note inside the sock there from Rankin Costello, just to pass on to one of his teammates there. Some fresh messages from the bench, as Rovers still have just over 20 minutes to try and get back into this game. Here is Rothwell now to Giles. Back to Rothwell. Swansea not playing too high off sideline either. They are giving Blackburn a lot of space. It's pretty much the edge of the penalty, and Rovers are only 30 yards out. Ball now fired in from the left-hand side and quickly volleyed away. Good clearance there in the end from Ryan Bennett up towards the halfway line, chested down by Wharton, and Rovers still in possession. Here is Van Heck being hassled there by Patterson, so he goes all the way back to goalkeeper Thomas Kaminski. Rolls it back out towards this right-hand side. Van Heck trying to play almost as a midfielder now, as Blackburn looking to try and perhaps just take a few more risks, take a few more chances, bearing in mind what the situation is. You can see that Lenihan, skipper, just having a quick look at the note that was passed to him by Rankin Costello. Meanwhile, here's Rothwell now with a switch pass over towards the right-hand side, headed in by Lenihan, looking for the run of Rankin Costello. Oh, and it's a bouncing ball there. Fisher just took a second or two longer to catch what seemed like a fairly straightforward ball, but the Swansea keeper does eventually take care of everything. And he just waits now to see where his teammates are on the field as Russell Martin is preparing another substitution. I just saw some activity on the bench from the TV pictures that we're getting. Couldn't quite make out who the substitute was. We'll be able to confirm that momentarily. It looks like it might be Latibaudiere. We'll wait to see if Latibaudiere is the one to come on. We'll have just under 20 minutes to try and do something in this game. Here come Blackburn now down the right-hand side. Lenihan's ball in, headed away towards the edge of the area. It's now with Giles. Giles' is ball in, quickly dealt with by Ryan Bennett. And then a long ball down the right-hand side, which will come out for a throw. Kaminski thought about taking it himself there, but decided to leave it for Rothwell, then actually to claim the ball back off Joe Rothwell, who's now on the run himself. Rothwell, that's a lovely through ball to pick out Kadra, but that's a great challenge as well from Flynn Downs. He wants a goal kick for this as well. I think he might have got it in the end. And if he has, then that's great play there from Flynn Downs, although the referee, Tim Robinson, isn't going to get away with it that easily. Brereton Diaz still asking the question. It's a good ball from Rothwell, good run from Kadra, but Flynn Downs times this to perfection. I think he's got away with that. I think that might come off. Oh no. Ooh, I tell you what, it's difficult to say. I've seen 3 replays now, and I could have either given it as a goal kick or a corner. So, frankly, I think the fact the referee has given it one way or the other, I think we have to accept that he's done his best there to make that decision. Looking at it live. In the meantime, we are going to see Latibaudiere coming on the field here for Swansea City. And he comes on for Joel Perreault. So one Joel replacing another. It's, certainly the longer surname on the field now. Latibaudiere on the field here for Swansea. And, we'll see whether he can just get this game over the line for Swansea. You just get the feeling that whilst it is still only 1-0, there's always going to be that chance for Blackburn to get back into this game, albeit they've had most of this second half where they've had the lion's share of possession, and they have been playing with a man advantage since the 53rd minute. So pretty much all of the second half, barring around 8 minutes, Rovers have had a man advantage, which again can sometimes be a bit of a poison chalice. It's not always that much easier playing against 10 men than it would be against 11. I think logically that there'll be obviously more space on the pitch because there'll be less players marking, but it sometimes just means that the side with 10 really just close up and know that they have to defend, particularly if they have a lead to defend as well. It can make them very hard to break down. And this must be pleasing for Russell Martin to see that his side have weathered almost half an hour's worth of Rovers' incessant possession. But it will count for nothing if they don't hold out until the 90th minute. As it is, Rovers lose possession here. First chance in now, Latibaudiere going back towards Christie, and then a long clearance from Flynn Downs. But that, I think, is something that Swansea need to avoid. They're far better off to try and hold on to the ball for a moment than just clearing it long. Although Blackburn return the favour now with a long ball towards Kadra. Was he offside? The flag doesn't go up, but Rovers, number 7, couldn't control that one anyway. It's cleared back towards the halfway line. Here is Rothwell, just starting a bit deeper now is Joe Rothwell. Plays it short, inside towards John Buckley. Buckley's ball in, looking for the run of Rankin Costello, but goalkeeper Fisher is out, and he makes the save. Good chances for Rovers here in terms of the possession they're getting, but the final ball into the box, that's been a problem for Blackburn all evening, really. Can't think of too many occasions where I've said that's the perfect cross and it just needed a better head. There have been a couple. There was a couple in the first half. In the first 5 minutes, Ryan Nyambi, of all people, ended up inside the 6-yard box twice when the ball flashed past him. But in the second half, the quality of the delivery still has been a problem for Blackburn. And coming up to 15 minutes to go now. As the second half is just about to get underway at Turf Moor. Burnley 0-0 with Watford, and in the FA Cup, in 76 minutes, Cambridge still trailing Luton by 2-0. But for the first time in a long time, it's Swansea on the attack as the ball breaks into the penalty area, and Corey Smith gives the free kick away. Just brought down Scott Wharton, and Blackburn not hanging around. They take this free kick very quickly, and they're off down the right-hand side here with Rankin Costello. Lenihan inside now towards Travis, and Rothwell the left-hand side here for Ryan Giles. Giles' cross in is charged down by Cyrus Christie, and that's out for a corner to Blackburn down the left-hand side. Another chance here for Rovers to load up the penalty area. So we can see now, waiting for the ball here is Reda Kadra. This is something that needs to be fixed. During the pandemic, we had about 7 or 8 spare match balls around the pitch to try and stop the idea, you know, all to do with hygiene and being able to wipe other balls down in the meantime and everything like that. Since the start of this season, that seems to have been eroded away, and we're now getting loads of time lost. Again, more of an argument to have that stop clock just because there's no match ball on the pitch, and it really is quite amateurish, I think, sometimes. You think of how prestigious and high profile and indeed lucrative football is. The fact that you can allow so much time to tick down really is quite annoying. But the referee just needs a bit more time now inside the 6-yard box, because there's an absolute glut of players. There's about 10-12 players inside the 6-yard box here for Fisher to have to deal with as this cross is put in towards the back post. Jumping for that one at the back post was Scott Wharton, but he couldn't quite get his header towards goal. Kadra put a lot of pace on that, and it was a very flat cross. It was always within range of the 6-yard box. Good ball in from the Rovers sub, but Wharton always straining to get on the end of that one, really. And a goal kick now to be taken by Andy Fisher. And just putting that ball on the inside the 6-yard box, checking his boots, checking his gloves, waving for his teammates to get further forward, even though they're all on the halfway line already. So again, just always eking out a few seconds there. On clearance now from Fisher up towards the halfway line. Kadra fighting for it. Christie gets there first, but Kadra carries on charging down. He gets there ahead of Ryan Bennett. Now it's Ben Cabango covering. He hits the deck here. He wants a free kick for being stamped on there by Kadra. I don't think he's got any chance of getting a free kick for that one. It's going to be a throw to Blackburn, level with the edge of the Swansea City penalty area. Taken short. Kadra now under pressure from Christie. That ball out for another Blackburn throw. It has been incessant pressure here from Rovers, but not much end product in front of goal. But now a chance here potentially for Giles as he puts that cross in from the byline. It bounces inside the 6-yard box. Costello's trying to get a shot away. It's charged down, and now a chance for Swansea to go on the counter attack. Patterson runs straight into Van Heck though, and gives away the throw on as well. So Blackburn win possession back inside the Swansea half. Good play there from Buckley. Loses the ball a little bit too easily, but Swansea give it away immediately. That's been a problem for Swansea in the second half. Haven't really had an outlet once getting away from their own penalty area. And here is Ryan Giles now down the left-hand side. Puts a good cross in. It drops to Costello. It's a tight angle. It tries to get a shot away. Oh, is that a handball? It must be, surely. Looked to me as though there might have been a handball there from Cabango. It seemed to just bounce off his arm there. Rovers were appealing a handball. Referee not interested. We play on. Ball now inside the Swansea penalty area, headed back towards the goalkeeper. Let's have a look now. Does Ben Cabango handball this? Well, he will argue that he knew nothing about it. He will argue that he was still sliding, and suddenly as he's turning, the ball hits his left bicep. But I would argue that's a huge help, though. Although the handball rules, they seem to change as often as Watford managers, so we'll have to just wait and see whether or not the pundits after the game would have felt that should have been a penalty. I mean, to me, it seems strange that other very sort of mild handballs, but where there's deemed to be intent, would always be given. And there, Ben Cabango has his arm out. The ball bounces off his arm, which stops it reaching an opposition player. But because he was looking the other way and getting up from a tackle, it was deemed that there was never a handball there. It's a strange sort of thing, but I suppose that's what makes football the fascinating game that it is. And there's always a little bit of subject, a little bit of opinion. It can always be very subjective as to whether that was a foul or if it wasn't a foul, if it was or wasn't a penalty. Meanwhile, Blackburn have won themselves a corner, and Kedra's a corner. That one's heading towards goal, and there was a push on the goalkeeper there, which the referee just about spotted, and that's what Blackburn players are still asking as to what the decision was for. Tony Mowbray certainly isn't impressed with this, and referee Tim Robinson just having to calm the Blackburn players down here. Let's have a look. Was there a foul on the goalkeeper? Well, I would argue that there was. I would argue that he is pushed, but I have to say that Andy Fisher would try harder in a supermarket queue if you pushed him. I mean, he basically allowed himself to be rolled into his own net, which goes completely against what I remember from my rather unsuccessful goalkeeping days, where you've got to be strong inside your 6-yard box. You've got to be able to use your body to get to the ball, not just assume that every light bit of contact is going to be given as a free kick. But on this occasion, Tim Robinson obviously felt as though it was just a little bit too blatant there from Rankin Costello. And that was a bailout, because that corner kick from Kadrilo looked like it might have been heading on target, curling in from the left-hand side. Rovers now in possession here. Ball moved forward towards Buckley. He's dispossessed. A good chance here now for Swansea to go on the counter, albeit Patterson runs straight into Lewis Travis. Blackburn have the ball here now with Van Heck over towards the right-hand side. Lenihan for Brereton Diaz. Diaz's ball in, headed up in the air by Cabango. Still kept alive in midfield here for Rovers. It's Brereton Diaz once again. Leaves it for Rankin Costello. And his cross charged down by Swansea captain Matt Grimes. Out for a throw to Blackburn down the right-hand side. 1 minute's gone. Independent off-tube studio commentary. Swansea City leading against Blackburn Rovers by a 1-0. Michael Obafemi with pretty much a free header on 16 minutes as Rankin Costello hits the deck. He looks unhappy about something, as does Tony Mowbray, but the decision won't go Blackburn's way. It's been a frustrating sort of evening for Blackburn, really, and their fans, as I mentioned. So quite a few have made the trip from East Lancashire, but so far a disappointing evening for them. Plenty of action in front of the Swansea goal, but not too many shots on goal itself. As the ball now with Grimes. Volleys that towards substitute Lati Bodier, but Blackburn win it back, and it's on the left-hand side now with Ryan Giles. Been blocked here by Cyrus Christie. Goes back to Joe Rothwell. Rothwell then tries a diagonal ball over towards the right-hand side. Lenihan is there. The flag doesn't go up, even though Swansea players had their hands up expecting it. Lati Bodier trying to chase this one down towards the line. He can't keep it in play, and it goes out for a corner kick to Blackburn down the right-hand side. Coming across to take this is Reda Kadra. Needs some support inside the penalty area. Rankin Costello once again getting close to the goalkeeper. Kadra with the outswinger, it's too low, easily headed away by Corey Smith, who's not exactly the tallest player himself, so it shows you how low that cross was. Back on the halfway line now, here is Joe Rothwell, charging forward, space down the left here to pick out to Ryan Giles. Giles' cross, charged down by Christie, out for another corner to Blackburn. It's getting repetitive here now, but the fact is that Rovers really have been incessant in this second half. You cannot fault them for their effort in terms of trying to get forward, but you have to immediately say that Swansea have been resolute in defence, because they haven't allowed Blackburn to have too many chances at goal. Plenty of attacking possession, but not actually too many shots on target. Corner kick to Blackburn now on the left. It's Kadra. Oh, that's the worst corner kick he's done of the evening. He's miskicked that, but he's lucky to get the ball back on the left-hand side. His cross into the box is better this time, but it's headed away. Rothwell now sweeping up for Blackburn, back to Kadra, and now Giles, left-footed cross, headed away by Ryan Bennett. Bouncing ball now, which just about Travis gets to first. He was under pressure there from Patterson. It's with Lenihan now. Darragh Lenihan's cross into the box, headed away by Bennett, still kept in play here by Kadra. Into the box, floated towards the back post, and there's no one in a red and black Blackburn away shirt there to try and get on the end of it. Volleyed clear and out for a throw to Blackburn Rovers down the right-hand side. Brereton Diaz hasn't quite had the impact since he's come on the field that I think Tony Mowbray would have been hoping for. But here come Blackburn again, down the left-hand side. It's pretty much all been down the left-hand side over the last 10-15 minutes especially. Giles, low cross this time, hooked up in the air by Ben Cabango. Bounces at the edge of the area, and getting there first is Hannes Wolf. trying to get away from Travis. He does get away from Travis. Travis trying to stop him. The referee allows play to go on. Wolf carrying his run on all the way to the edge of the area where he's brought down by Scott Wharton. And Rovers have it back now here as they go down the left-hand side with Brereton Diaz. It's got Giles there for support. That's where the ball's gone. Giles inside now. Towards Buckley. Back to Giles. His cross headed away by Downs. Bounces at the edge of the area. Travis, as he has done so many times this evening, mopping up here for Blackburn. Squared to Darragh Lenihan. Now Rothwell back over towards the right-hand side here for Rankin Costello. He puts a cross in, which is headed down by Bennett. It drops at the edge of the area here for Giles. Giles square now to Buckley. Back to Giles again. Cross towards the back post. It's a good one. It's a great chance. And from 5 yards, it's blazed over the bar by captain Darragh Lenihan. He looks into the turf in real frustration there. The Rovers man. He knows that's such a good chance for Blackburn to get level with still enough time to try and go on and win it, but Swansea City preserving their lead. I mean, he was 4 yards out there, Darragh Lenihan. The ball was aimed at the edge of the 6-yard box there for Rankin Costello, but when it eluded Rankin Costello, it bounces just in front of Darragh Lenihan, and he's shinned it. He's actually hit it with his shin rather than with his boot, and that explains why he's missed from so close. He's 4 yards out there, Darragh Lenihan, when that ball drops to him. Great chance there for Blackburn to equalise with just a few minutes to go. And it's going to be long goal kick this time from the keeper Fisher. Headed back the way of Ryan Bennett. He heads it away, but straight away Blackburn have it back here with Buckley. Square now to Lewis Travis. Travis goes across to Lenihan. Now back to Rothwell. Towards the edge of the penalty area. Rothwell now finds space here down the left-hand side. A good cross put in. Oh, but it's not a good header. It's not a good header there from Van Eck. It is tipped over the bar by the keeper, Andy Fisher. But that's only because the ball was looping, but it never looked like it was going in. I think it was just one of those that was dipping. Probably would have gone onto the bar and gone over rather than dipping under, but Fisher couldn't take the chance. And it does mean that Blackburn have another corner, yet another corner in this game. It's over on the right-hand side, and it's left-footed Ryan Giles to take it. Blackburn have had 8 corner kicks in this game. Swansea haven't had a single one. And ball now coming in towards the near post. Oh, both sets of players have their hand up. It has been given as another corner kick. It was whipped in towards the edge of the 6-yard box. A little bit of pinball there before it goes out for another corner. Taken short now. And it's Brereton Diaz's cross, but it's a bit too much height on that one. Wharton heads it towards the 6-yard box. Still kept alive here by Travis. Now plays it back. And Lenihan, it goes over the bar from 7 yards. Lenihan, unmarked, opens his body up, tries to aim for the top corner. And it just misses there from Darragh Lenihan. Great chance for Blackburn. I've said that a few times already in these last 15 minutes, but that really was. And the last 2 chances both falling to the captain, Darragh Lenihan. And he'll be disappointed with that one. It was a good effort, but it would have been a very sweet finish had it gone in. He just opened his body up inside of the boot, aiming for the top corner, and it wasn't far away. It was very close, in fact, but just a little bit too high. And Tony Mowbray, with that look on his face there, to say it's just not going to be our evening, I don't think, because time really is ticking down. 60 minutes gone, by the way, in the game at Turf Moor, where it's still Burnley 0, Watford 0. And still only the 2 shots on target, 1 each from Burnley and Watford. So certainly not an attack fest in that game. In this game, you have to say, we haven't had too many shots on target either in total. Blackburn have only had the 2 on target. They've had 10 off target, though. And they've won themselves yet another corner here. As we go into the last minute of a regulation time here at the Swansea.com Stadium. You can see Mowbray pacing around his technical area, desperate for his side to just get this equaliser. He'll feel that his side have been value for it, particularly in this second half. But once again, Ryan Giles with the left foot from the right-hand side. It's whipped in towards the near post. It comes off Rankin onto a Swansea defender. We're going to see Blackburn's 10th corner kick of the game now. Be it the 10 we've seen, would say that 3 or 4 have proved to be really dangerous. In fact, it's the 11th corner kick that Blackburn have had. taken short, and it's Kadra's ball in towards the 6-yard box, headed away by Bennett, and then Kadra miscontrols at the edge of the box, and now a chance for Swansea to break out. And that's not a good chance for a counter. Although Kaminski's been caught off his line, that was potentially very risky. Thomas Kaminski had wandered a long way away from his penalty area, and then a ball was played down the middle. It wasn't a shot, I don't think, but Kaminski suddenly realised it might end up going past him, so he had to dive to head that ball back towards his own penalty area, and he was able to claim it. We're into injury time now. There are going to be 4 minutes of it as a cross comes in from the left, headed down by Wharton, but straight down the middle, and it's a comfortable save for Andy Fisher in the end. Just as the board went up there was a pass over towards the left for Giles. He lifts a cross in. Wharton and Van Heck are now playing as emergency strikers, Alan Mertesacker from his Arsenal days. Looks like Wharton has gone back a little bit further now, but certainly we saw Van Heck on 2 or 3 occasions in the last Blackburn attacks, just doing what he can to try and get in the way. He stayed up there, by the way. It's just Lenihan and Wharton back inside the Blackburn half now. Still got 3 minutes of the 4 allocated of injury time still to play as the ball goes down the left-hand side. Is that out for a throw? It is, and Christie doing his best just to boot that as far as he can. Just to give you an idea of how this game has gone, Swansea City scored from a cross. That is the only cross that they have made in this game, the only attacking cross that Swansea have made. 1 cross in 91 minutes. Meanwhile, Blackburn Rovers have had 46 crosses in the game, and they still trail by a goal to nil. There's a chance now at the edge of the area. Buckley strikes it, gets a big deflection, and we're going to see a dozen. We're going to see the Blackburn's 12th corner kick now with that effort from Buckley getting a deflection. It does definitely get a deflection off the head of Ryan Bennett. Referee spotted that one, and so a corner kick now to Blackburn from the left-hand side. It's going to be an outswinger from Kadra, aimed at Wharton, who heads it away from goal. That wasn't the best cross really to attack. It was just angling away from Scott Wharton a little bit. And in the end, out for a goal kick, and Tony Mowbray will be very, very disappointed to see his side lose this game, considering that they've also recently lost to Hull City. We're in a similar position to Swansea, exactly the same amount of points, in fact, as some of these Blackburn fans are now making their way to the exit. Which, as I say, other Blackburn fans, on the other hand, are frustratingly shouting that it's taking too long to take this goal kick. There is actually an injury here to Jamie Patterson. Might just see the referee had an extra 30 or so seconds of injury time at the end of the game. But he looks okay to play on now. Swansea fans will be delighted. As I say, it's been a tough few years for Swansea, missing out on the playoff, missing out on promotion to 2 seasons in a row via the playoffs, losing in the semis 2 seasons ago and the final last season. Long, long way from a chance in the playoffs this season. But you never say never. This division throws up surprises every single week. This result, I suppose, you could certainly put under that category. I'm sure there'll be plenty more twists and turns, especially with the pandemic playing havoc with the fixtures. It means that some teams in the league have played 30 times, other teams have only played 27 times, so that's still going to take a little bit of time to recover. Of course, quite a few championship teams still involved in the FA Cup this weekend as well. That's why we've only seen 3 games in England's second division. But meanwhile, it's possession for Swansea at the edge of the Blackburn penalty area, but Grimes' ball is straight onto the head of Wharton, who heads it back to Kaminski. He doesn't waste any time, the Blackburn keeper. He bowls it out down the right-hand side here for Rankin Costello, and it's a long ball from him now towards the edge of the area, headed away by Christie, whose ball drops to Giles. Giles inside now for Travis. Travis threads the ball into Kadra. Kadra breaks into the box, but he's stopped at the edge of the 6-yard box. It's back now with Giles. There goes Travis on the over. That's a strong challenge there from Cyrus Christie. And it goes out for... Is that a throw or is that? It's gone out for a corner kick, in fact, to Blackburn. And even Thomas Kaminski, the goalkeeper, is up for this one. It's taken short. Kadra fires it towards the near post, and Kaminski almost gets a touch on it. Then it's Van Heck going back towards Giles at the edge of the area. He floats a ball in, headed on, but that is straight into the arms of the keeper, Andy Fisher, And that's got to be it as far as the time in this game. We've had pretty much 5 minutes of injury time, and Russell Martin, I think, just checking with the fourth official, I think was just confirming that as soon as the keeper Fisher clears this, referee Tim Robinson will be calling time. And Brereton Diaz there unnecessarily blocking the keeper, because that's just delaying Fisher now. I'm not sure what Diaz is doing there. It's silly from the Blackburn man, and it makes no difference in any case. It is full time here at the Swansea.com Stadium, where Swansea City beat Blackburn Rovers by a goal to nil. Despite being down to 10 men for most of the second half, Swansea are able to hold on, and it's a big, big win for them. But so that's it for this game. Thank you very much for your company this evening. For myself, Paul Szczerbakowicz, do join us again soon.